Good afternoon. It's 3 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the January meeting of the Knoxville Transportation Authority. The first item of business is a determination of a quorum. Mr. Lawhorn?
I believe I count 9. There's a few new faces, so I'm going to assume some of those are KTA commissioners, but I count 9. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. The next item of business is approval of the December 2024 minutes. Do we have any comments or questions on the minutes? Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Okay.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed?
Don't yell, I like that.
Minutes approved. We'll move on to the reports. So the first is the KTA Chair report. I do not have any specific report other than I would like to say thank you for the opportunity to serve as the chair for the last few months. It has been a pleasure working with all of you. I would like to ask if there is an opportunity that we can have the new commissioners introduce themselves as we move to commissioner comments.
That'd be great.
Excellent. All right. And so perhaps we start with the new commissioners at the end, and then it might also make sense for the returning commissioners so we just go in order, your name and your affiliation, and if there's something else you'd like to tell us.
Hello, my name is Zach Roskop, owner and operator of Knox Brew Hub and Fred Beans and Rice, a small business located around the corner from Market Square, resident of Park Ridge, and lover of all things Knoxville, Tennessee, and strangely passionate about public transportation. Honored to be here and excited for this opportunity to serve.
My name is Mary Tom Adams, and I'm an East Knoxville resident, but I work in South Knoxville at an organization called Spark. We serve people with disabilities, primarily with mobility equipment, but we also adapt toys for children and do other innovations. So I'm also a big Knoxville fan and delighted to serve.
Debbie Hillsland, I'm not new, I'm representing council on this board.
Ebony Winford, I am Vice President of Research and Health Equity at Cherokee Health Systems, as well as a licensed psychologist, and I'm also returning.
Hi, everyone. I'm Allie Taylor with Makeaway Transport. We provide non-emergency medical transport here in Knoxville, in the Northeast, as well as Nashville. So I'm excited to serve here and see how we can work together.
Hi, I'm Nancy Neighbors with the Knoxville Chamber, and I'm their lead for anything that has to do with infrastructure.
Hi, my name is Bethany Stair, and I'm the new secretary.
Hi, I'm Dustin Durham, returning commissioner. I am, in my daytime, I'm the executive director for our chapter of the American Institute of Architects. I'm the vice president of Old North Knoxville, so Old North guy. And then I'm also the executive director for a newer nonprofit called Yes Knoxville, which focuses on urban planning and how to make people more aware of how zoning and codes and all of that impact their daily lives.
Rick Whitted, I'm the transportation manager for the University of Tennessee.
Great. And I think I introduced myself to all the new folks. I'm Candace Brakewood. I'm an associate professor at the University of Tennessee in civil engineering. Are there any further commissioner comments? Normally we would go to any comments from the commissioners at this time on the agenda.
I have a question for staff. This is, so the last few weeks I've just found myself riding, my main route is the 20 on Central, just because it's closest to my house. It's been rather cold and rather snowy, as we all know. Is there and I'll say two things. One, the stop that I use is right by that Kenjo on Central. And I guess my first question is, what is the process? I should know this. What is the process of reporting maintenance issues? Because one of the glass panels just completely gone. And I just want to make sure everyone here is aware, myself included, of how do you get stuff fixed? The second question is there is CAT required to make sure that during adverse weather, specifically snow and ice, that the sidewalk adjacent to bus stops is clear of ice and stuff? Just because my stop wasn't icy, but it just got me thinking, are we making sure that people don't slip and fall while they're at the bus stop?
Yep.
So to answer your first question, if there's a maintenance issue with, garbage, broken glass at one of our shelters, they can fill out a form online through our website, or they can also call our customer service, and they'll create a ticket for our maintenance team to go out and fix that or get taking care of the trash. In terms of clearing snow or ice from shelters, we do the best we can. It's just having the personnel to be able to do that. Look, we have salt supplies, but do we have enough personnel to go out and clear every single bus stop? That's a little difficult sometimes in inclement weather.
Sure, that's fair. Do you know, have there been any attempts at seeing if that the maintenance issue, applying to get something fixed or cleaned up at a stop, is that something that could potentially be integrated into the transit app?
Yeah, I think you might have asked this question. I think that's something that they are looking at doing. Yeah, I think that is something they're working on doing, that other people have actually asked for that to be done for the transit app. So I know they're looking at that. I also will say, too, that our maintenance crew has a weekly process. They go out and clean and remove trash from all the bus stops. Sometimes, though, within a day of being there, trash is full. So.
Are there any further commissioner comments?
I just have a question. Or is the staff going to introduce themselves to the new people at some point? Is that in it? There you go.
Should we?
Did you want to start?
Yeah. You're not technically staff, but I don't know. You go next, maybe?
I'm John Lawhort. I believe I introduced myself to everybody who's new. I'm the attorney for the Knoxville Transportation Authority and also for Knoxville Area Transit. Served in that role on a part-time basis since 1990 and a full-time basis since the late 90s. So been here a little while. Happy to serve. And if anyone ever has any questions about your role or what the KTA does, please reach out to me. It will take you some time to figure all this out, and happy to help you along that way.
Thank you. I'm Isaac Thorne, Director of Knoxville Area Transit. I think I spoke to most of you here today as you came in, but our plan is basically for the new commissioners to set up a meeting before our next February KTA meeting to have an overview of CAT. John's going to sit down and kind of give you an overview of what you'll be voting on some of the rules that we have. So I apologize we weren't able to schedule that before this first meeting, but it will happen before the February meeting. So I'll be reaching out. You'll be hearing from me.
Hello, my name is Dana Baker. I am new to CAT. I'm the Chief Operating Officer. I've been here 6 weeks. It feels like 6 months. So, however, I am happy to be here. I have over 30 years experience in public transit, specifically in operations, maintenance, and safety. So I'm looking forward to contributing to CAT in the community. Thank you.
And good afternoon. I'm Pat Downs, the Chief Administrative Officer, and I've been with CAT almost a year. I have a compliance background, was a federal lead reviewer for FTA on triennial and state management reviews. Pleasure to meet the new ones.
Hello, everyone. My name is Umar Tennessee. I'm the planning manager at Knoxville Area Transit. I've been here for about a year now. And this is my second time at CAT. I started out probably 13 years ago as a bus operator, supervisor, and scheduler. So I've been in transit for probably a little bit over 17 years. And glad to meet you all and look forward to working with you all. Thanks.
Do you want me to introduce myself now or under my...
Since you're last, just go ahead and introduce yourself. I was going to bring it back.
All right. Hi, I'm Doug Burton. I work for an organization called the Transportation Planning Organization, and we're part of Knoxville, Knox County Planning. Any city that has a population of 50,000 and greater has a transportation planning organization. So we actually have a little bit more of a regional perspective than what the CAT staff does. We serve Knox, Anderson, Blount, and Loudoun counties. And we do all sorts of transportation planning, from roadway to transit to pedestrian to biking. And we have a couple required documents. One is we have to prepare a long-range plan that looks out over 25 years. And then we have some shorter-range plans that deals with when projects are actually being implemented and federal funds or federal grants are starting to come in. We help coordinate a lot of that. So a lot of the federal grants that CAT gets, we help coordinate with them on those things. So because we have a regional perspective, I also work with CAC and ETHRA, who do more regional transit with some of the smaller vans. And then I've also been around for a long time. I probably started around the same time John did. I think I figured it out the other day. We're probably pushing over 400 KTA meetings at this point. But I do have some institutional knowledge, and so I often will chime in when it's appropriate. So it's nice to meet you.
I can go next. I'm Clay Mercer. I'm a transit planner with CAT. Been with CAT for about 3 months. Been in transit for about 3 years. So I'm looking forward to doing some good work with you all.
And I'm Quentin McCroskey. I'm the scheduling analyst for CAT. I've been with CAT in this role for almost a year, but I've been with CAT as a whole for a little bit over 4 years.
Great. Thank you very much for introducing yourself. It's nice to meet the new folks. So staff reports, I think the next agenda item is Director of Transit report and route modifications.
Yes, I will have a few quick updates, and I'll turn it over to Umar, our planning manager, to talk about the route modification to Route 37. I just want to start off by saying we've seen about a 10% increase year to date in fixed route ridership, which is great to see. Our on-time performance is at 83.7, similar to last month, but we're trending in a good direction. We're up nearly 6% since August. I also want to briefly talk about our inclement weather. In January, I want to thank our employees, our operators, our supervisors for getting us through that very difficult weekend of we had to suspend some service, start late on a few days to allow the city to get out there and plow streets and salt. But our team did a great job. I appreciate the work they did in the snowy weather. And then obviously this weekend we had some very, very cold weather. So they've done a great job. Also want to mention before Umar takes over here is that our route changes the KTA approved, I want to say in November, those will start on January 27th, which is Monday. So with that, I'll turn it over to Umar to talk about the route modification for Route 37.
Real quick, we had a modification that we had intended to put into the proposal for your vote last month on the Route 37 Morningside Riverside. It doesn't require Title VI analysis. It really doesn't require a vote. It's just actually revising the inbound routing, and we will now serve Isabella Towers inbound and outbound all day. And when you look at the map, you see the red section. That's the route it used to take on the inbound, but now instead we're just going to go ahead and make this left on the Groner. From Lawrence, make a left on the Groner, left on Isabella Tower, and go clockwise left to Clifford, and then a left on Hazen back to regular route. And that's pretty much it. Just want to make sure you guys were aware of this slight change.
Madam Chair, I do want to clarify one thing. We do not require Title VI analysis. We do not require public hearing, but we do require a vote of the KTA.
Yes, sir.
So once everyone is satisfied with any questioning they may have, we will require a motion and a second and a vote on the proposal.
Question.
Any questions? Yes.
How many stops were eliminated from that red spot, if any? And has there been any extended distance between the stops that used to exist and the new route?
I meant to add that we had no stop. We thought there was a stop there at Lawrence and Hazel, but there wasn't. It was never installed. So we knew we wouldn't be missing anybody at that stop. And the next stop is at the park, but we do intend on adding a stop as soon as possible right there at Hazel and Clifford at Hazel. There's a curb cut there, and it used to be a stop there. So we want to make sure that the neighborhood can still have access to the stop at Groner and also at Clifford.
I apologize if I missed this information, but the motivation for the change?
We just want to minimize wait time. They were catching the outbound to the end of the line, although it's a very short route. They would have to sit through the layover in order to come back into town. And we thought it may be best if they could just catch it at Isabella Towers inbound without have a shorter wait time in terms of on the bus.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can you remind me, is this weekday service, is it also half hour or is it an hour?
Okay, yes. Weekday service is half hour and Saturday service is
Will also
half
be
hour.
half hour,
Will
okay.
also be half hour, yes.
Are there any further commissioner comments or questions? All right, then I think it's time to vote then on the proposed Route 37 service change. All those in favor? We need a motion. First, we need a motion to do the
Move
vote.
to approve.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? All right, that service change has been approved. Next on the agenda is the TPO Transit Planner update.
I don't have anything more than just introducing myself. Like I said, our organization does work on some transit planning, and we have some stuff in the works, but I just don't have anything quite yet to bring to you. So hopefully in the next month or two, I'll have a report out.
Moving on to new business, the KTA Nominating Committee. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lawhorn.
For those of you who are new, we do choose officers on an annual basis for the KTA. We have a chair, we have a vice chair, and we have a recording secretary. Those are required under both city ordinances and addressed in our bylaws. The terms for each office are 1 year. The terms for the chair and the vice chair are then term limited, at least for consecutive terms of 2 years. So this year we at least as of, I believe, the November meeting, if I recall, we were proceeding with 2 interim occupants of the chair and vice chair position. So essentially, we're looking at new nominees, fresh nominees for each position. So this year, the nominating committee consisted of Chair Breakwood, Councilwoman Helsley, and me. And we met on January 16, pursuant to public notice, to propose a slate of nominees for those positions. Let me say this about the recording secretary position. That position has historically been an employee of CAT or the city, that those organizations graciously provide us, because that's a very hard-working position. They do a lot of work before and after these meetings. And so in the past few years, I can't add them up, but Annalisa Valentine has served with CAT's gracious offering, and she has been phenomenal. She is moving on to other duties, and so we've now been offered Bethany Starrett as our recording secretary, so we are certainly nominating her for that position. In addition, for chair, the committee has proposed that Debbie Helsley serve as chair during the year 2025, and that Dustin Durham serve as vice chair. Now, those names, because it comes from a committee, those names do go into nomination without need for a motion or a second. Any commissioner can, however, place other names into nomination for any position if you so desire. There's one proviso on that. If you intend to nominate someone other than yourself, you must either have that person's written statement that they are willing to serve, or since everyone is here, that person must say, I am willing to serve, before that name goes into nomination. So let me first ask if there are any other names that any commissioner wishes to offer into nomination other than those proposed by the committee. There being none, the committee recommendations are subject to a vote.
This time I don't need a motion. So.
And you can propose it as a full slate, voting on the full slate, or each nominee individually, however the chair prefers.
I think given that there are no other nominations, we should do the full slate together. So we'll vote on the full slate for chair, vice chair, and recording secretary together. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? All right, the slate of nominees has been approved. Is there any old business today?
No old business.
Excellent, no old business. Has anyone signed up for public comment? Okay, we do have one person signed up. All right, if you could come up to the microphone here, that would be great so we can hear you. And then if you could state your name and address for the record, and then you have 5 minutes to make your comments. Thank you. Yes, that is correct, 5 minutes.
Check.
Awesome, I greatly appreciate that. My name is Tiara Lady Wilson. I am a proud CAT customer for over 20 years. I live at 2705 Lay Avenue, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37914. Excuses are the tools of the incompetent, used to build monuments to nothingness, and those who specialize seldom amount to anything. I am tired of the excuses. We currently live in a society where we reward mediocrity and do not hold people accountable for not fulfilling the responsibilities that they have been charged to fulfill, which creates an environment for those who lack that ability to work in excellence. It makes it their mission to undermine their coworkers, their subordinates, or even their leaders who operate with that spirit of truth and excellence. Ujima. That is what I live by. That is to build and maintain our community together and to make our brother and our sister's problems our problems and solve them together, which is why I'm here today. Not only to stand here to advocate for myself as someone who uses the lift, but also for other co-riders, but mostly for the drivers who serve us on a daily basis. I've seen over the past agendas where this board does not focus on the lift, but the main line. And I understand that because that's the majority of who you serve. I have been a fan of CAT Reimagined. I love what you all have done for the main line. But unfortunately, Knoxville Area Transit has completely ignored your most vulnerable who rely on the CAT lift. I have read over the past minutes, and like I said, there's no checks and balances, and no one is seeing how the lift is operating monthly. So how can we change that? I'm so glad to see the new faces on the dais today, because this means that this can be a new day. This means that this is a grand opportunity to reimagine Lyft, which I hope will no longer consist of riders and drivers who are advocating for efficient and effective service to experience unprofessionalism, malice comments, vindictiveness, and retaliative actions, instead of the recourse that I hope to see where we all can work in the spirit of Ujima to create a service and environments that are not hostile. Even though I am standing here for myself, and I will always stand for myself, it is about other people who don't have the ability to be here at 3 o'clock. You guys are here for less than 30 minutes. And so my question is, how do the people who are being affected adversely get the opportunity to really have our voices be heard? Because right now, the staff is not doing it. And so I'm coming here today because I'm asking you all, the way that you were in charge of helping the main line be reimagined, please do the same for Lyft. Oh, one staff member was written up for HIPAA violations because I told them and I asked them about something about my profile. This is a picture that I took with my cell phone. So if a CAT driver gets written up for HIPAA violations for a screen that they did not install, that's not right. So I'm just bringing the evidence that this is a hostile environment for our drivers who are trying to do their jobs. And if you're gonna write people up for me blatantly being able to see the screen myself and take a picture, that's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. So that's why I'm here with the board. Hopefully moving forward, Mr. Isaac has reached out to me to have a meeting, so hopefully things will get better. But I want to put you all on notice to make sure that you're not just paying attention to the main line, but you're making sure that the least of these in this city are being treated right, especially those who have intellectual disabilities who cannot come up here and speak for themselves.
We appreciate your comments and we thank you for your efforts coming here today. Was anyone else signed up for public comment? Okay, I think that was it. All right, then my last item of, oh yes, I'm sorry.
I do have a question to follow up on Tierra. Is that your first name, Tierra? Yes. How feasible is it for us to bring Cat Lift before this board for consideration for changes? Is this the right venue? If not, what is?
So as we have discussed, the jurisdiction of the KTA is largely dealing with fixed routes and fare prices. So from the standpoint of fares, we are addressing Lyft. The ordinance establishing KTA does discuss a consolidated and integrated plan for transportation and transit. So I think this body can certainly undertake discussion of the Lyft service and how it is, in terms of its construction and its dedication to how it serves the fixed line. That is subject to discussion. The management of the staff that operates the Lyft is a CAT function. This is not a CAT board of directors. This is not a supervisory board over how CAT manages its staff, so we don't get into that. But I think it's certainly, it being part of the larger consolidated transportation system, this body certainly can discuss how the Lyft service is or is not serving the community.
Since she did address me, can I speak, Mr. Lawhorn?
I'm not the chair, but we've had 5 minutes. We've had 5 minutes, and the 5 minutes are up.
At this point, I'd like to move on with the agenda, but we will stick around and we are happy to talk more after. Were there any further commissioner comments? Okay, thank you. All right, then the last item of business before I set the next meeting is, again, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity to serve as chair for the past few months. It has been really wonderful working with all of you. I'm going to be serving as a regular commissioner moving forward. And Commissioner Helsley will serve as the chair effective for the next meeting, which I will set on February 20th, 2025. So I look forward to seeing you all then. This meeting is now adjourned.